Everybody, welcome to Berean TV. I haven't done a video in a while, but I said let me do this short video dealing with conscious Christians in the black church. I recently saw a video with Shaka Utmost talking about the black church, and I'm going to do a reply on that, but I want to address this other thing first. When it comes down to a conscious Christian, let me explain what consciousness is first. When we say we're conscious and we're conscious Christians, a lot of people think that that's an oxymoron, that you can't be conscious and follow Christianity because people are under the assumption that Christianity is the white man's religion. And everybody that's a Christian and follow Christian beliefs or believe that Jesus is the Messiah, they're confused about a European image of Jesus, Michelangelo, and what went on during the Renaissance period in Europe for Europeans, and how that picture has spread all over the world, Latin America, and to Africa through different missionaries. And there's some confusion with that. So when we start talking about a conscious Christian, I want to define what consciousness is. Consciousness just means to be somebody that's awake, somebody that's aware, or somebody that has knowledge of their surroundings and what's going on, what's happening. And when we start talking about consciousness or being a conscious Christian, a lot of people are under the impression that when we start dealing with consciousness, this is something that came about with the advent of YouTube, with the advent of the internet. But we can go back to Marcus Garvey, who left the Roman Catholic Church. He was a Christian, left the Roman Catholic Church and went to the African Orthodox Church, and his teachings were based on the Bible. We can do the same thing with Richard Allen and Absalom Jones, who were conscious, who started the AME Church, and later on Reverend Floyd Flake, Dr. Martin Luther King, definitely conscious. When we start dealing with other theologians, who some would call the father of liberation theology, Dr. Crone, if we deal with Cain Hope Felder, professor of New Testament, Howard University, we have to acknowledge all of them as conscious Christians. And in the conscious community, in a whole, the conscious community tend to lump the entire church together, the entire black church together, like a lot of people are fooled with the European image of Jesus. A lot of people are fooled with the origins of Christianity. And I just finished wrapping up Sunday seminary, and we dealt with Athanasius, who we call the father of orthodoxy, who was an African church father and one of the leaders at the Nicene Council. I speak to people that consider themselves conscious that's not Christians, and they're confused about the Nicene Council and what took place there. They don't know that there were plenty African bishops that were there. One of the first seminaries was of the African church, and leaders in the African church, catechismal schools were in Alexandria in Egypt. And Ethiopia being the first Christian nation, they don't understand a lot of things, and they believe that the entire Bible is a white man's book, and that's confusion. And as conscious Christians, we understand that that's not so. Even when you look at Dr. Jeremiah Wright, people that has come down before YouTube, before the internet, Dr. Jeremiah Wright, was Oprah Winfrey and President Obama's pastor when he was in Chicago, and Professor Jawanza Kunjufu's pastor, heavy in the conscious movement, heavy with liberating and teaching their people the history of this thing. Like I said, there's a lot of people that's confused about the history of Christianity, even in the conscious community. So I want to just talk a little bit about both sides. In the black church, there's foolishness in the black church. Not everybody, but there's a lot of pastors that's teaching foolishness in the African American church and using the people, manipulating the people, and teaching lies, Christmas tree. They don't have no problem with the European image of Jesus. But even if you pull up videos from the 80s with Jawanza Kunjufu and so many other people teaching, even we can go back to the 60s with Dr. King and others, and they understood a European image was no good. They understood a lot of stuff has been whitewashed, and they've been teaching this stuff. But now that we have YouTube, we have the internet, it seems to be imbalanced. We don't have a lot of conscious Christians that are speaking up, but we do have people that have knowledge of self and know who the original man was. They understand certain things. I'm not I don't feel bad in saying, historically speaking, no European on this planet has ever started any major religion. That's not a problem. And as conscious Christians, we understand that. We don't have a problem. We understand that Abrahamic faiths did not begin in Europe. No real major religion began in Europe. We don't have no problem with that. And because a lot of this stuff has not been taught, some people think everybody's running around here following Creflo Dollar and Eddie Long and these other people that I'm down here in Atlanta with. A lot of people feel that everybody's obsessed with Creflo, desiring a $65 million jet and all of this foolishness. But there's a lot of people that's considered Christians, that's Bible-believing Christians, that don't follow that foolishness. They don't follow the Christmas tree. They don't follow that Easter egg. They understand paganism and they understand the Bible. They understand the origins of the Bible and church conferences, councils, and they understand what happened. They understood what happened throughout the history of the church. So I just wanted to bring that up in this short video here. I think I might address the Shaka Utmost thing later on in another video. He brought out some good information talking about Kirk Franklin. There's a lot of us conscious that we're not acknowledging Kirk Franklin and all of them people far as out here and doing the work far as uplifting the people and educating the people. Those are entertainers and other people that's shopping information. We have people that shop information in the conscious community. The Creflo Dollar of the conscious community is polite. He can ride around in some real expensive European imports like Creflo Dollar can do and a lot of other televangelists can do. And people shop information on Sinetta TV. A lot of people that just look for information. They don't understand behind the scene there's a whole money-making machine that's in operation. They get a certain honorarium, a purse. If Omar Johnson come out, if Polite come out, certain people come out. Sinetta got to promise a certain amount of money. Can you fill the venue? How much can we bring in? What's going to be the purse? It's like an Evander Holyfield fight. The same thing when you see T.D. Jakes and everybody having these large conferences down here in Dallas or down here in Georgia, and they bring other big-wig preachers in. It's about money. Who can get what that's going to come and preach and teach this early morning thing, or evening thing, all the debates that you see on TV. It's about money. So there are people on both sides of the fence that's shopping and selling information to people. I just wanted to drop this short video. This might be part one. I might do another thing, but y'all remember that thing, Dr. Kane, Hope Felder, and so many others that has been involved and has been conscious Christians. I'm gonna do, y'all check out that Sunday seminary. I'm gonna do a part 2 on the religion of the church, what the kingdom